This particular topic took the internet by storm about 3 or 4 years ago, and it still does, by all means necessary. Non-fungible tokens, or what you know as NFTs. What are these things? Are they a scam? How can you extract economic value off of them? That and so much more on this show with Somayat Kipchilat, who is my good friend. But first off, as always, the tech news of the week. At the 5th Nation Digital Summit held in Diani, Kwale County on February 20, 2025, the Ministry of Health urged county governments to engage in public-private partnerships (PPPs) to maximize benefits from the Social Health Authority (SHA) funds. Medical Services Principal Secretary Harry Kimtai highlighted that out of the recent 16 billion shillings disbursement to hospitals, 11 billion shillings was claimed by private facilities, indicating a public preference for the quality services they offer. Murang'a Governor Irungu Kang'ata discussed challenges with the new Social Health Insurance Fund (SHIF), which replaced the National Health Insurance Fund (NHIF). He noted that under the previous system, the county's Kang'ata Care program facilitated payments for treatments at public hospitals, subsequently claim funds from NHIF. However, with SHIF, issues have arisen, such as the policy allowing beneficiaries to pay only 1 month's contribution to access services. This has led to situations where, after receiving services, beneficiaries' accounts become inactive, hindering the county's ability to claim reimbursements. Additionally, Governor Kang'ata pointed out that contributions have increased from 500 shillings per person under NHIF to 700 shillings with SHIF, causing financial strain. He expressed hope that these are initial challenges that the national government will address promptly. In response, PS Kimtai assured that the government is aware of these issues and is actively working on solutions. That he mentioned SHA's portal stability is being enhanced, with a complete rollout expected soon. Furthermore, to expedite services approvals, doctors will be authorized to approve payments directly, reducing waiting times to not more than 30 minutes. The government also plans to digitize all public health facilities by 30th September 2025 to improve efficiency. The summit was organized by Nation Media Group, centered around the theme Shaping Africa's Future for Sustainable Prosperity. It provided a platform for stakeholders to discuss tech strategies, particularly for enhancing healthcare delivery through collaborative efforts between public and private sectors. Very well, that was what was hottest in the world of tech this week. Let's now talk about NFTs. Somet, good to see you. Thank you for making time for us on NTV.
Pleasure.
So for someone who is hearing about NFTs for the first time, how would you describe them, or how would you describe NFTs to your 6-year-old nephew or niece?
At its basics, it's taking a version of something. It could be art, it could be an image, it could be video, anything that you own, and selling a version of that to anyone on the internet who would like to buy it. So taking things out, I think the first ever NFT was the first tweet that ever Jack Dorsey put out on Twitter, and I think it sold for about $9 million. Yeah. So it's just taking a version or a representation of something and selling it online, so someone can have ownership.
In that case, what was the origin of these NFTs? Where did they start and how did they become so popular?
So the backing of NFTs is built around the blockchain technology. So blockchain technology was built a while back by a gentleman called Satoshi Nakamoto. Till today, people haven't verified who he is. But the idea is he built a system called a blockchain, which allowed what I like to call proof of provenance. So if I want to say that I have full ownership of something and that I can track its ownership and verify it, that was NFT. The most popular implementation of the blockchain is what we today know as Bitcoin. And that NFTs just builds on top of that, where it's using the underlying technology to showcase how you can show proof of ownership.
In that case, how can somebody get started in NFTs and extract economic value off of them?
I would peg it back to the same thing as shares in a company. We all agree a company is valuable because we collectively agree it's valuable based on certain factors, whether it's revenue, size of company, and there's metrics that the stock market uses. NFTs is just something that is valuable because a number of people agree it's valuable. So let's take the first example I gave. The first ever tweet in existence by Jack Dorsey saying, "I'm setting up my Twitter." People think it's valuable only because a set few individuals actually think it's valuable. So as long as a group of people agree that something is valuable, they can attach value to it, and then you can then attach a dollar value to it.
Imagine for a moment you're the client. What's on your mind when you're buying an NFT, especially for that much money?
Think about the way people own art. So art is actually a very good example of offline NFTs, if I may call it that. People buy art, and to one person it's very valuable, to another person it's a completely useless piece of thing, right? It's simply valuable to somebody because they think it's valuable. A 1,000 shilling note is valuable to you because you can exchange it for something. You can trade for it, but to other people who've never experienced what money is, to them it's a piece of paper.
Anywhere there's value, there has to be monetary exchange. What markets exist for people to exchange NFTs, and where can they be found?
There's a couple of NFT marketplaces out there. I think the most popular one is, I think it's called World Ocean or something like that. But there's quite a number of them online that exist that I can go and look at. I can look at the NFTs that exist and actually buy and buy these NFTs. So they're available on the internet. If you do a quick Google search, you probably will find them.
What is the difference between non-fungible tokens and fine art?
So the difference between fine art and NFT is, with fine art, you actually get to hold something that's physical. So if I go to an art gallery and I buy a painting, I actually get to take that painting home and that I own it. I have physical ownership of that painting. However, for an NFT, what I'm buying is a digital representation of the physical asset. So I can own a painting. Let's say in the case a Van Gogh painting, right? But Van Gogh can literally go online and say, "I want to sell 10 limited digital representations of the same painting." And the fact that it's one, he can choose to make it very rare. So let's say 10 versions of it can actually increase its price, as opposed to when there's like 1,000 of them out there. So it's taking ownership of a digital representation, and that I can brag to my friends that I own a version of this painting from the original author. So that's the just subtle difference between an NFT and fine art.
As you mentioned, fine art has an aspect of tangibility. NFTs are in soft copy. Is there an aspect of devaluation or appreciation in value?
I believe there is. It's similar to the way the stock markets move up and down based on what happens in the world. So if a big multinational, their CEO resigns today, I guarantee you their stock will actually plummet, simply because the people who agree it's valuable will want to pull out. So same thing to an NFT. While somebody who's selling an NFT can put its price up, it can actually devalue if the people who are buying it don't deem it valuable. At that point, you probably already spent your money. So,
Great. Thank you so much. Please give your parting shot on this, and then we'll end part 1 of the show.
as you go on and buy something, only you understand its inherent value based on your interaction with it. So if I go and buy a shoe for 1,000 shillings, and the same seller can sell the same shoe to another person for 3,000 shillings, it means that, one, they have done good marketing, or they're really good sales, but also the person who's buying it has the capacity and the propensity to spend that kind of money. So I don't believe it's a scam. For the same way, I don't believe Bitcoins are a scam.
Amazing. We've been speaking to Somet Kipchilat on non-fungible tokens right here on TECHOVER, and I hope it's made sense to you what these things are. Let's take a short break. We'll be back with more. Don't go too far. Welcome back. You're watching Takeover on NTV. Time now for the startup of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, here is our founder this week. Artificial intelligence innovation is fast affecting and impacting all industries, among them fashion. For instance, a Kenyan stylist and fashion founder, Ria Anna, has heavily deployed AI in fashion and equally fusing it with sustainability.
Sustainability is such a big word, and I feel like it's used so often that we need to be specific. So my focus is on hyper-local approach. We work from the crop stage and we integrate craft and hand techniques throughout the entire process from that crop stage all the way to your closet. And so it really is the marriage between technology, and technology comes into it during my design process, with that and pairing it with ancient craft and traditional heritage techniques that we can find in both Kenyan lineage and Indian lineage, because I'm both. So I have been creating fashion since I was about 13 years old, but I founded the brand Lailabare about 8 years ago. Yeah, it's always been part of my DNA, something that I always felt compelled to do and work on. So ever since I can remember, I've been taking my existing clothes to my tailors and saying, cut it up this way, cut it up that way.
Textile and fashion industry innovations have stalled to some extent. We sought to understand her inspiration to use tech in an industry that hasn't exploited artificial intelligence or technology, no less.
The passion for technology is the thing that helps spark this idea in me. What is the way that we can introduce green technology approaches, and how can that contribute to the sustainability aspect of Lailabare and the brand and the way that we create clothing? And with the development and I guess the surge of AI that's happening, there's been a lot of technological advancements that relate to the fashion industry, and that's something that as soon as I learned about its creation and it was accessible to me, I threw myself into it to learn how to get involved and leverage the power of technology.
Ria disclosed that AI has helped manage operational costs and efficiency as it's deployed into the design works and costing for fabric use.
On the one hand, using technology allows me to design in both 2D and 3D simultaneously. And it allows me then to really and truly have power over exactly how a fabric is cut, for example, or exactly how we place that sleeve or place that print. The control is there, and as a designer, my service is to present my ideas in a tangible form that people can wear every day. So I feel like that's a really important part of it. But then beyond that, things like sizing, for example, and this is really where generative AI comes into play within the technology space that I work in. I can digitally forecast how we are going to size the garments over someone of any size. They could be 7'2" or 500 pounds, and we would still be able to simulate how a garment would behave on someone like that. So, and then it comes into what I think of as the phygital, right? Turning that digital idea and that design into the tangible. It makes it that much easier. So we've actually been able to reduce our in-house waste by over 65% just by the implementation of digital technologies. It allows me to experiment without actually having to use resources for those fabrics, for those buttons, for even the tailors and the artisans' time is so much more optimized because we're using technology. I come to them with something that's 95% ready to hit the market.
So does using tech and AI in her work have downturns?
It's such an interesting thing. When I first started implementing technology and AI into my into the digital process of design and bringing that to artisans who use only handcraft and ancient craft techniques, there was an initial sort of resistance, maybe a skepticism of how is it that this thing that you've made on the computer can inform how we're going to make the thing. It also means that my designs are that much more complex. And so when I'm introducing designs that I've created in digital to my team, there's almost a sense of like, can this even be done? You know? And so that was the initial resistance. But what I've found over the process of creating multiple collections now this way, the sense of fulfillment, having achieved that thing, created that thing, facing the challenge head on, my team is that much more driven. And so they've really adopted this process despite their skepticism. So it's really interesting to see how we've turned that initial barrier or that veil and that challenge into something that they really look forward to seeing what I come up with next.
Globally, AI has been deployed in fashion conglomerates like H&M, Tommy Hilfiger that use AI to create collection based on customer preferences. Some of the key benefits in AI in fashion include AI's ability to analyze trends, colors, and styles from vast datasets to generate new and innovative designs, and AI-powered recommendation engines suggesting outfits based on customer preference, past purchases, and body type. Using AI has earned her major endorsements globally, as strategic partners are now coming on board. Ria admits that even with all these advancements in technology, she has to merge human effort and AI to achieve desired results, but maintain professionalism and keep her business afloat. And that's our founder this week. Very well. I've told you time and again on this show, Kenyans never cease to amaze me with their creations. Let's get the tech tip of the week and then have Somet end the show for us.
Hi guys, and welcome to this week's Tech Tip of the Week. Today we shall be discussing how you can improve your security online. The first one is regarding passwords. You should not create passwords which are easy to guess. Consider creating complex passwords which are not easy to guess, and you can do this by the help of password managers. There are so many password managers out there. A good example is the Google Password Manager, which you can just find within Google Chrome. These will create good passwords for you and also store them for you. The other tip is ensuring that you have two-step verification on all your social media accounts. Having this enabled will reduce the risk of your accounts being hacked, as once you try to log in and put in your password, it will always require another type of verification, such as sending a code to your phone or an email. And the last tip is avoiding connecting to public Wi-Fis. And in fact, do not access sensitive information when you're connected to public Wi-Fis. For example, do not access banking apps or any other sensitive information. If you really need to connect to public Wi-Fis, consider connecting to a VPN first, as this will keep you secure. I hope you learned something new. That's it for this week, and see you in the next one.
Well, I hope you learned something new today. I always encourage people to constantly learn. May tech live on forever.
Tech must live forever. Brian Jojo Tieno is still my name. Stay techy.